Okay, this is the more traditional Lesginka. The video got cut off. This is part 3. Let's go ahead and take it. Here is the traditional dance of the mountain peoples, the Lesginka, where the woman represents the earth, and of course the young men here, their arms are that of an eagle, stance of an eagle, the way an eagle walks. Um, Often an eagle will bring in one arm to turn, make a turn in the air. So this all represents the eagle going around the earth. And of course, the eagle was something that the Circassian mountain people seen regularly up in the mountains, hunting and feeding, and very much the Circassian warriors took on the theme of an eagle as a fierce warrior as they looked down from their perches upon high in the mountains to see their enemies coming. And they referred to themselves as being fierce, like the eagle. So this Lesginka dance became very traditional in the culture of the men being eagles, standing on their tiptoes, as a sign of readiness for battle. Um, like I said, the music here, when you listen to it closely, you can kind of tell it represents a sword fight or a sword battle. Very fast paced. And like I said, this is developed culturally into a courtship dance in some sense, and it's often played at weddings or danced at weddings, and different variations. And of course, they, you know, some groups in the region over there have what's called the Super Lesginka, and these are variations of the dance, more modern um, takes on the traditional dance. But what we're seeing here right now is very traditional, and I would watch some more of these Lesginka dances or the Kafa and get a sense of the the clothing, um, the tradition over there. Um, this is the hat, sort of what the Pope dog is wearing in plate 35. Um, Let me just go ahead and stop this, and we'll get to scale this down, bring this up, bring this down. Oops, not very good at this. Not being very good at this. Let's see here. Why won't it let me? Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, we're back to plate 35, and um, once again, I wanted to show you that they are doing the Lesginka in this image. The odd thing here is Kadyrov does not have the black boots on there over here. And like I said, this individual is kind of a combination of these two individuals. I don't know if genetically, certainly in the aspects of the zealous and the learned, the two Johns, um, he's certainly wearing the blood of the martyrs of the Circassian genocide with the shoes, representing the main character with the wooden platform shoes, and the blood of the martyrs from the Circassian genocide. So that's why I say this plate is a genocidal warning from Nostradamus. Um, the other odd thing in this image is that these two characters seem to be in Jewish clothing. Perhaps a genocide framed, I don't want to say framed by Jews, uh, caused by Jews. We know Zelensky is Jewish. Of course, Kadyrov is not. I will kind of get into that a little bit later on, and you'll see as we go more in depth in this image why that would be. But clearly, looking at the dog, the hats on the women, so we see aspects of the Lazinka across the board here. Of course, the men kind of do their hands in the air a little bit doing the Lezginka. The women wear this kind of hat. This also looks like a crown or a hat that was on the main Lezginka character. A lot of the Lezginka dancers often wearing scarlet sashes. And if you investigate the dances from those regions, you will find other performances where they are wearing these colors, red and green, specifically. I didn't really have time to go seek that out, but I have seen them, and I encourage you to study the Lezginka in those dances and in all of that, because it does very much have to do with this plate image from Nostradamus. And of course, the eagle is very prominent in the whole Lezginka Circassian region, like we had discussed, of the mountain people. And of course, one wing in, one wing out, which is common that we see in the dance. The eagle has also become the symbol for Russia, the Byzantine eagle. But anyways, this eagle seems to be possibly going around the central figure in the Lezginka dance. So that's very interesting. And of course, over here, we got Zelensky wearing the black boots that are normally worn by the Lezginka dancers. So there may be some relationship between Zelensky's past or his heritage and even these mountain peoples. Or perhaps all three of these gentlemen are somehow related to the mountain peoples of the Circassian region of what is now Russia. Very interesting. So, anyways, we know there was a genocide 1719. The Russians viewed the mountain peoples of that region as savages, etc., and basically went on a campaign to rid them out of that land and to take over that land. And eventually the Russians were successful in a major campaign, which finally did push them out. And tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands died and perished. And like I said, their culture was sort of lost. Their last names were sort of lost as they had to assimilate into new areas, and they took on European surnames to fit in and assimilate, which is kind of a shame, but definitely a representation of the Lezginka going on here in Nostradamus's plate 35, and definitely giving us a genocidal warning. And I'll go more into that warning as we get further into the plate and how that what that warning may actually lead to, which is actually shown in this image of a phase of perhaps final destruction. Also, we do see water at men in boats rowing, not much landmass here, just water at the shores of the city, or perhaps the city sticking out of the water. This could also be some kind of warning or a future look into the future, this window here that he's offering us. And a lot of this has to do with time. And what time is it? Of course, the time of no time is this 20 or so odd year period of time that the Mayans had talked about as we pass through the galactic rift, or the dark rift of the galaxy, as the sun rises in the dark rift, and then eventually we move out of that. And like I had stated earlier, perhaps into the age of Aquarius. And so this plate is speaking of great change and saying, times run out. And this is about time. The eight-spoked wheel is a representation of Saturn. Saturn's number is number 8. Saturn is the planet of time, Chronos, which is, a name for time. So really here, in some respects, I see this guy being heavily related to time and or Saturn and or dragging his feet, marking the ground as he who marks time. I'll get into that a little bit later in the hermetic aspect of this plate, because he definitely looks like the character in the hermetic story of Hermes, who takes the burden of the earth upon his shoulders or head from Atlas for a while, and Atlas is very relieved, and basically Hermes tricks him into taking this great weight back off his shoulders. So there's this hermetic flair here, and of course we see somebody with golden, what I did call Rafe. I think it was Rafe, a Rafe light, Raff light. I'm going to have to look that up again. Rust light. A rush light. Yes. This is basically a medieval lamp that people would take this tall grass. They would yank it out of the ground, and when you yanked it, it made this 90-degree bend on it. And of course, they would boil it, take it apart, soak it in animal fat, and burn it like an incense. But it made a flame, and it was a peasant's candle, because most people couldn't afford wax to make candles. So this is an indication of somebody that is not an aristocrat like these guys, not somebody in power, but somebody that's a normal, everyday person walking amongst us, as these gentlemen are walking amongst us right now. So by all indications, he's also walking amongst us right now. And like I said, he seems to be giving some kind of warning here with the bell on his neck, and it looks like it's going up and down, like possibly it's ringing. And there's a few other clues to this gentleman here. He seems to be dirty from walking, and he seems to have shackles on his leg like he was a prisoner, but he is free now. And this whole thing with this very much reminds me of an African boy who is got a stick and is rolling a wheel, for miles and miles and miles, and how I don't know if you've ever seen these videos of these boys, African boys, who have a stick and they're rolling a tire or a bicycle wheel, and they're just running along with it. And I see that with this guy, but I also see him wheeling it towards him, or brushing this wheel, or revealing or rolling away, revealing and rolling a way for us to view. My time is up. I'll be right back with part 4.